Welcome to today's Q&A with the myofascial release expert. Today's question actually came via text message about a month ago from a 21-year-old college student down in St. George. Now, I've seen this college student before, so I'm familiar with the trouble she has in her body, so it wasn't difficult for me to actually respond to this text message. This is what she sent. My back is killing me. We took our four-wheelers out over the weekend and my back started hurting really bad yesterday. Now, by the time she texted me, and that's not really a question yet, she wanted to know, could I help? By the time she texted me, she could barely stand without pain. As she walked, she could feel her right hip kind of clicking and popping. She felt like she was tucking her hips under in a weird way to avoid pain. By the next morning, when she went to work, she couldn't put her arms in front of her and lift with more than about a pound or two of weight on her arms. And she's training as a paramedic, so you can imagine that was a pretty difficult situation. She said she had to support herself during work that day. She could barely stand upright. So essentially the question is, I did something over the weekend that now has jacked up my back. I'm 4.5 hours away. Help. What can I do on my own? I love this sort of question because people I've worked with, one of the things that I really want to see happen is the ability to care for and maintain the health of the myofascial system over time. I don't want you to see me forever. You don't want to see me forever. There should be some things you can do on your own. Now that's regular maintenance. This question is a little bit different. This is what I consider and refer to as crisis. When you're in crisis, do you know what to do? Now, I'm going to talk you through what I talked to this college student through. It might not apply to you. Again, this is someone that I've seen and worked with before, so I knew her particular situation. Everyone's myofascial restrictions, everyone's unique experience in their body is unique to their body. So one thing that's right for this young lady might not be right for you, but it will give you a general idea. Now, with her back in spasm, with her in crisis to the point that she couldn't actually stand up straight, she couldn't actually put much weight on her right leg, she couldn't extend her arms, that's crisis. The first thing I recommended for her was simply to lay flat on the floor with either her legs bent and her feet on the floor, or actually her legs supported on her chair. Now, one of the things this does is it takes gravity out of this upright situation and allows the spine and the pelvis to start to settle. Now, there's not much anyone can do until the body and the brain start to settle out of this, or I'm trying to hold myself tight because of pain. That's clenching and bracing. So she did that and said that helped a little bit. She actually slept that night with her legs propped up to again take gravity out of the situation on her spine and allow her pelvis and her spine to settle while her legs were just kind of supported. That helped a lot. Now this particular college student has a fairly significant forward rotation of her pelvis. And when she lays flat, her legs just pull the pelvis forward more. So if you can imagine, her low back is clenched and braced in pain. She lays flat, her legs pull on this more, she's in more pain. So to get her legs elevated helped that settle a lot. Then she was able to start doing some stretching over the next several days. Now, she sent me some pictures. There's going to be a blog post at some point so you can actually see the pictures. By the time I talked with her, instead of her shoulders and her hips being kind of in alignment here, she's actually skewed way off to the right. She could see it. I could see it. And this is again by text message. So what she needed to do once her back started releasing that spasm and protection, she had to get open through the side of her body where she'd been skewed. And so I gave her some things that she could do inside lying on her side with a pillow underneath and just elongating through there. over a period of 3 to 5 minutes in some good myofascial stretching. It wasn't traditional stretching trying to open, but it is that slower, gentle sinking, softening over a period of several minutes. She did that on the right, she did that on the left. She continued laying flat on the floor with her legs elevated or bent so that her spine could continue to settle. About a month later, after this incident, I talked to her. She sent me some new pictures. She's doing much, much better. She said that the things she did were lying flat, keeping her legs elevated to let her spine settle, and the gentle stretching. She has continued that. As she does know, she tends to have a forward rotation of her pelvis that over time, without good self-treatment, will cause problems. Especially the next time she goes out on a four-wheeler and just gets bounced around and her body braces and protects and then goes into spasm. So, kind of a long answer, kind of a fun story. This happens to be someone I care about a great deal. Jacked up my back over the weekend. Is there something I can do to help? Absolutely there is. Like I said, there's going to be a corresponding blog post about her with some pictures. I will make some self-treatment videos also so you can see exactly what I do when I'm in similar situations. There is help available. Whether you can get in to see a therapist or not, a lot of times you can get yourself out of crisis if you can soften into your body long enough for those spasms to ease. Now, she was quite achy in her hip as she did this. She was quite achy in her back, but again, she's familiar with this type of work. Long answer, fun story. Q&A with a myofascial expert. If you have something you'd like us to answer, send us a question, shoot us an email, and reply to this video. We'd love to hear from you. We'll talk next time.